The Adirondacks have so many pristine bodies of water, many of them connected by carries. So it's among the best places in the world for canoeing, kayaking, rowboating. You can paddle for miles and miles. That's why paddling races are such a core part of Adirondack culture. The most well-known race is the 3-day 90-miler, the weekend after Labor Day. But a tiny 5-miler in Saranac Lake is back after a hiatus, and it's picking up steam. We go race-side on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from the St. Lawrence County Community Development Program, now accepting applications for the Head Start program to prepare children ages 3 to 5 for school. Online at slccdp.org/head-start.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Tuesday, July 9th. First up, a community in St. Lawrence County is canvassing its residents to find out how many have made clean energy-related upgrades to their homes. Canton's Sustainability Committee says the data can help unlock state funds. St. Lawrence Valley reporter Catherine Wheeler reports.
If you're in Canton, you might have seen people around your neighborhood or leaving door hangers asking about electric vehicle chargers or heat pumps. That's because the Canton Sustainability Committee has launched a new decarbonization campaign. It's asking residents of the town and village to report if they've recently taken certain clean energy actions. Evelyn LaFerrier works at St. Lawrence University and is helping with the project.
The main actions that they can take are subscribing to a local community distributed generation project such as Northern Power and Light or another community solar project. It could be getting a new electric vehicle or plug-in hybrid, or it could be installing an air source heat pump or a ground source heat pump in their home, or filling out forms for rebates or other incentives in the process of getting a heat pump in their home.
But LaFerrier says the dates matter here. If you live in the village of Canton, you need to have taken those actions on or after March 29th. If you live in the town of Canton, it's May 5th and on. You can report your actions on a Google form. She says they're tracking this so the communities can earn points for grants from NYSERDA's Clean Energy Communities program.
This campaign is just a way to keep track of different energy actions that community members might already be taking to help us get points and show that our community members are taking action.
LaFerrier says the communities could then apply for grants that could go towards solar installations, electric vehicle purchases, EV charging stations, and heat pump installations.
I think it's just really important to get people to see how they can take actions that are going to save them money and also help to save the planet, the ultimate goal to help reduce carbon, but also show that it can help the community overall and help the village and the town with their different energy goals as well.
LaFerrier says they're hoping to get 5 to 10 households per category. You can find the link to submit a form on our website, ncpr.org. Catherine Wheeler, North Country Public Radio in Canton.
A paddling race in the Adirondacks is making a resurgence. The Willard Hanmer race was created in 1963, named after a well-known guideboat builder from Saranac Lake. Emily Russell was at the finish line on Sunday and brings us the story.
If the 90-miler canoe race is a marathon, the Willard Hanmer is a sprint. And yes, it's Hanmer, not Hamner. A lot of people mispronounce it as if the M comes before the N, which it doesn't. Anyways, the Hanmer starts on Lake Flower and ends less than 4 miles away on the Saranac River. Just 28 and a half minutes into this year's race, the first finisher surges up the river.
Go harder! Dig, John, dig! John!
Saranac Lake local John Dupree glides across the finish line. He immediately gets out of his boat and jumps into the river. It's around 80 degrees and sunny out here today. Once he's fully cooled off, I asked Dupree how his race went.
It was hot, it was fast, and it was fun.
The guideboat Dupree raced in is a beautiful wooden one with sleek lines. Dupree is the third generation of men in his family to row a guideboat in this race, the first dating back to the inaugural Willard Hanmer race back in the early 1960s.
Grandfather rode in it. He won the first year and the second year. And then my dad, he was one heck of a racer. I'm 3.5 minutes off of his fastest time ever, which was 25:30. But he had a lighter boat. But yeah, he's inspired me. I got into it when I was a kid, and gives you something to look forward to every year.
Willard Hanmer built guideboats in Saranac Lake. He learned the craft from his father. Hanmer died in 1962, and a race was then organized to honor the boat builder. Today, there are more than just guideboats in this race. There are categories for 1, 2, and 4-person canoes, as well as kayaks. Sue Dyer, who runs the Hanmer now, says it was her kids who encouraged her to revive the race.
They live in Saranac Lake now, and the race hadn't been run for 10 years plus. So they said, come on, Mom, we ought to be able to do this. Every year it's gotten a little bit better, and and we're doing okay, I think. Woo!
Thank you.
Dyer is also one of the founders of the 90-miler canoe race. She says what makes this race so special is that it's really a community one that's family-friendly and feels low stakes. But still, Dyer says a lot goes into the Willard Hanmer.
Even though it's a one-day event, there are so many complicated pieces and bits and state laws and water aquatic laws, and so it takes several hard working months and probably 44 volunteers, 50 volunteers.
There are also local businesses here selling things like cotton candy and local craft beer. It's like a summer kickoff party. But there are paddlers that come here really to compete. Becky Sutter and Dylan Kirk both got into paddling a while back when they were students at Paul Smith College. The two won this year's 2-person canoe category, and they came prepared.
We race pretty seriously in pro boats. Dylan put together a training weekend. We've been paddling on the Saranac, over in Rainbow Lake.
Yep.
Tell me about the boat. Like, I've never, it's kind of got like curves to it.
I could talk about this for a few hours to you. I don't know how much time you have, but it's called a pro boat.
Since we don't have a few hours, I'll just tell you it's a pretty odd-looking canoe. The front looks normal, but the back half curves inward where the back paddler sits. Here's Kirk explaining.
In the back half of the canoe, the stern gunnels are tucked in, which makes it nicer for the stern paddler to get a closer stroke. You can kind of put more weight on top of the paddle,
which makes it a more stable ride for serious paddlers. And that stability comes in handy in this race. Kirk says this course is more dynamic than some others.
The Hanmer has a buoy turn, it has wakes from pontoon boats on Lake Flower, it has a carry, it has rapids, it has shallows, it has all of these different things that a tactical racer can take advantage of.
Of course, this kind of tactical thinking isn't top of mind for everyone who races the Hanmer.
I gotta have a team picture here too. Get right in, Ricky. I love it.
A group of 4 paddlers huddle into the photo. One woman is wearing a tiara.
My name is Queen Liz Murray from Saranac Lake.
And queen of what?
Queen of the 2024 Creepy Carnival, Saranac Lake Winter Carnival. And I would like to introduce my Chamberlain, Jim Sloan, my Archbishop, Marla McGinnis, and my King, Ricky Sullivan.
Ricky, can you just what was it like to cross the finish line here?
It was awesome for my very first time.
Yeah.
And I'll do it again if I had to.
Good job, you guys. You did it.
This race does seem to draw people back year after year, generation after generation, like Carnival Queen Liz Murray. She credits the community vibe and the leadership of Sue Dyer for why this race is so popular.
I was in it in the 70s, and it was huge then, and Sue ran it then, and she's bringing it back, and it's fun, and I hope more people do it every year. It's great.
Yeah!
There you have it, folks. Your reminder a year ahead of time to get psyched up for the 2025 Willard Hanmer race. Emily Russell, North Country Public Radio, Saranac Lake.
Really nice photos of the race and the race course on our website, ncpr.org. We have more news there all the time, of course. Music today by Alan Dunham of South Glens Falls and Ramon Vasquez and Michael Hart of Malone. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.